Hello, middle school. My name is Fritz, and when I heard that I had the second eighth grade chapel of the year, people tried to convince me it was a good thing. I guess it's good that I'm getting it out of the way so I can laugh when my friends get up here and they have a puddle of sweat at their feet. Anyway, I came up here to talk to you about something very important in my life in early childhood. Calvin and Hobbes, the comic strip written by the amazing Bill Watterson. In case you've never heard of Calvin and Hobbes, it is about a great comic strip about a 6-year-old boy who has a stuffed tiger named Hobbes that comes to life whenever it's just Calvin and Hobbes. The creator, Bill Watterson, is a very interesting man. Bill Watterson was born in 1958 and is currently 56 years old. He got his degree in political science from Kenyon College, and he'd always knew that he wanted to be a cartoonist. What probably led him to wanting to become a cartoonist was when he wrote to Charles Schulz, the creator of Peanuts, and he wrote back. He did end up drawing cartoons for his college newspaper about none other than Calvin's fantasy space explorer, Spaceman Spiff. He named Calvin after the Protestant reformer, John Calvin, and Hobbes after the social philosopher, Thomas Hobbes. He left when he was at the top of the comic strip business after only 10 years, and does not accept fan mail, and rarely does an interview. His last strip was on December 31st, 1995. In case you can't read the strip, it says, "Wow, it really slowed last night. Isn't it wonderful? Everything familiar has disappeared. The world looks brand new. A new year, a fresh, clean start. It's like having a big white sheet of paper to draw on. A day full of possibilities. It's a magical world, Hobbes, old buddy. Let's go exploring." I love this strip, and it's one of my favorites. He said that if he kept on doing the strip, people would be complaining that this old-time strip was still going on when there were new strips constantly trying to get in. Bill Watterson was a genius when it came to his star, Calvin and Hobbes. He makes Calvin look naive, but then makes him use words that I still do not understand today. He refused to do any advertising of Calvin and Hobbes. No toys, no TV shows, no movies, just comic strips. For those of you in the crowd who have somehow never heard of Calvin and Hobbes, it is, in my opinion, in dozens of newspapers and comic critics worldwide, the best comic strip ever. Calvin and Hobbes is about a 6-year-old boy and his stuffed tiger, Hobbes, who comes to life whenever he's around Calvin. Calvin is a boy who has a knack for getting in trouble. He doesn't care about school, loves to wake up before sunrise, watch cartoons, and eat cereal that will give an old man a heart attack. Some people say that Calvin is a horror to mankind. I say he's my evil twin. He gets up early on the weekends, but needs 5 more minutes on school days. He would much rather go outside and play than do homework, and TV is his middle name, all like me. The only difference is I don't drive people completely insane. That's Nick's job. I only drive people a little insane. But now, to get to the real part of my chapel. That first part was just to get to my time limit of 10 minutes. The real part is the lessons I've learned from Calvin and Hobbes. Lesson number 1, really long words. Calvin has the vocabulary of an English professor. I first started reading this strip when I was 10 and very bored at the time. My dad told me about Calvin and Hobbes and got his old book from the old days, and I first noticed how hilarious it was, and then I noticed the long words. That's also when I discovered the magic of a dictionary. This helped my vocabulary become spectacular and now helps me use larger, more confusing words, even though I rarely use them. One example of this is the comic strip behind me that has 4 words that I was extremely confused on. Those words are economy, thoroughfare, municipality, and serene. I had to look up those words just to know what he was saying, and it made me laugh after I figured it out. Lesson number 2, imagination is everything. Calvin has a bigger imagination than anyone I know, real or fake. He can turn a boring day into a fun one just by becoming Spaceman Spiff, a boy who travels through the galaxy, searching for new planets and life forms. He can find a way to change from trash into a dinosaur, make a cardboard box, go back in time, and to turn into a dinosaur and terrorize his mother and father. Lesson number 3, how to daydream properly. Calvin is the king of daydreaming. He can make it seem like he's paying attention, but really not. Of course, his teacher, Miss Wormwood, knows all of his tricks. Because of him, I can now daydream whenever I want, during class, in the car, anytime, anywhere. He has also taught me what kinds of things to daydream about when I was younger, being a superhero, flying through the sky, flying through the galaxy as a spaceman, and discovering new planets. But I've also come up with some ideas of my own, being an amazing soccer and/or golf player, saving people's lives, and many others. Lesson number 4, it's okay to bend the rules a little bit. Calvin is always changing his favorite game around, Calvin Ball, but that's okay by him and Hobbes, as that's how the game is played. He also bends rules with anything else he can find. He finds loopholes everywhere, He says he reads the book but really just flips through it and misbehaves and says no to nearly everything. I learned from him that occasionally, not all the time, just every once in a while, you can bend the rules to your favor. This soccer season, the rules of soccer have been changed a little bit for safety reasons. We are now not allowed to use our heads in soccer. I understand these rules protect us, and I semi-agree with it, but I still miss scoring with my head. Lesson number 5, make the best of snow days. Whenever there is a snow day, Calvin immediately goes outside with Hobbs and starts to play in the snow. He makes snow things, anything from regular snowmen to Snowman House of Horror, and he is always outside making something out of snow. And when he isn't making something out of snow, he's sledding. This has inspired me to always pray to snow from late November to early April. When it does snow, I am outside nearly the whole entire day, building snowman, forts, playing with my dog, and, of course, sledding. Of course, his parents make him shovel, as do mine. I'm okay with it because I get paid, but Calvin likes to mess with his parents as he does not get paid. His dad says that his payment is a character. Sometimes they are extremely devilish, even for him. Lesson number 6, doctors should not be sarcastic around kids. Calvin's doctor is extremely sarcastic, as you can see in the panel behind me. This doctor is not good with kids. But he tries to have fun with them, but ends up scaring them so badly that the doctor won't be able to do any of the tasks necessary. Luckily, as a kid, I had great doctors, and they had minimal sarcasm, but I'm sure there are extremely sarcastic doctors out there, and they should stick to being secretaries. Lesson number 7, some people aren't very good at their job. I've always had great people who have taken care of me over the years, but Calvin has one and only one babysitter that will actually watch him for more than an hour, besides his parents and teachers. This would be Rosalind, the devil's babysitter. She puts Calvin to bed at 6:30, scares him like no other, and has very unreasonable rates. She talks to her boyfriend, Charlie, constantly, and knows his favorite game, Calvin Ball, when she finds out it's all made up as you go on. Lesson number 8, cardboard boxes have many uses. Calvin taught me that cardboard boxes and a little imagination can go a long way. He's built a cloning device and transmogrifier which can change him into anything, any time machine. This inspired not just me, but my sister, Ava. She would make anything out of cardboard boxes. My favorite has to be this huge dollhouse that she made that's taller than me. It's not completely made out of cardboard, but it pretty much is. As you can see, we both love Calvin and Hobbes. Lesson number 9, making memories is more important than homework. Calvin taught me that making memories can sometimes come before homework, depending on how important the homework is and when it's due. If you have a large project due the next day, then you should just do that. But if you have math homework due in a week and no other homework besides that, you can go outside and have fun. Like the one time it snowed a ton last year. In my mind, it felt like 12 feet, but it was probably more like 6 inches. Anyway, I spent the whole entire day outside playing, even though I had practice sheets to do for none other than Mrs. Vesey, who seems to be in every 8th grade chapel. I ended up getting them done the next day in study hall, but it was worth it, since it made tons of memories with my friends and family. Some good, some bad. Lesson number 9, the final lesson. This is the best one. I had to think long and hard of a good ending to this chapel as I tried to stretch this thing out for 10 minutes. Thank you. I had to really think, what would be a good ending point that's not boring, but great? So I sat down in my thinking beanbag chair and thought for quite a while. Then it came to me, the perfect ending to the perfect chapel. And the final lesson is, reading a Calvin and Hobbes collection, or even just a couple of panels, can turn a bad day into a great one. That's how good Calvin and Hobbes is. Thank you and have a great day.